In this video, we'll see a presentation of the Land Use Planner user account, which we call the Land Use Planner Workspace. This is your space where you can manage all your data and customize the tool's interface. To access your Land Use Planner Workspace, just click on Login. Here we are in a given workspace called Demonstration Workspace for Training. But you can give the name you wish to your workspace. If you are sharing this workspace with other colleagues, you could put the name of your organization, for instance. This name will appear on your tool's interface. In this landing page, we see a couple of important elements. Here is a direct access to your Land Use Planner tool, this web address. And here, you can download the offline version of your Land Use Planner when you are planning to use it in places with no internet. And here on the right, you may find some notifications. We have one here. This is a request from someone to join your workspace. And this is an important point. Any workspace can be shared with other people. It's not an obligation, of course, but it becomes very practical if you work with others. You can invite somebody to join your workspace, or they can make the request to join, and you are free to accept or not. In this case, I recognize the address, I recognize it as a colleague, so I accept the request. Under the Users tab, actually, you can check who is in this workspace. In this case, we're just 3 people, but if you wish to add somebody, you do it here. And remember that if you wish to work in different workspaces, because maybe you want to use the Land Use Planner in different organizations or programs, remember that you need a different email address for each account, for each workspace. So what else do we have on our workspace? The first tab is actually a list of all the projects that we have in our workspace. And there is no limit for the number of projects. Again, these web addresses are direct access links to your work. Let's click on this one. And we find the data where we last left it for this specific project. Let's go back. The next tab, Preferences. This is where you can change the name of your workspace. For instance, here we want to put the name of our organization or my organization. And we can even change the web address, which can be useful for communication purposes. So it will be landuseplanner.org/the name of your organization, for instance. Let's save that. Before doing it, you see here a free space for a welcome message. If you are inviting others to join your workspace, you can explain a few house rules maybe and say welcome to them with this message. You can change here the default currency and default language of your workspace and tool. The next tab, Default Values, is where you can change some important parameters like the price of labor, the price of carbon, etc. And you can mouse over some of these question marks to find some further explanations. Next tab, Benefit Distribution. The Land Use Planner allows you to differentiate between 3 categories of actors that may share the costs and the benefits of each land use in your different projects. You are free to redefine these 3 categories to better fit to your context. The next big tab, Land Use Models, is an important one. This is where you manage your land use data. You recognize here the land use categories seen in the Land Use Planner, the annual crops, the perennial crops, forests, livestock, and other land uses. Under annual crop here, for instance, we have cassava and 4 practices coming from different contexts. To know how to manage this data, check our next video. One more thing on this one. If you want to go back to the landing page of your workspace, click on the title, My Organization here. And remember that here you have the web address of your Land Use Planner. If we copy it now and communicate it externally, people will access your version of the land use planner. Let's do it. I disconnect. I pretend I'm coming from outside. I received the web address. I copy it. And here I am in your version of the land use planner. You can see here the name of your organization. And if I enter the tool through this address, then I will find your customized version of the land use planner with your preferred setting, language, currency, and all the default data that you have prepared for me.